these are the this is the tag we use in dividing our containers into columns, into rows. I mean, to make it beautiful and attractive. The div is very useful. Then we have one to we call the span. The span is mostly used for inline containers. For example, when you want to maybe have some images, you have to have some, how do you call it, icons, sorry, you want to have some icons, you can use the span, I mean, to display that icon in a linear or inline manner, so that it will be in line with containers. Yeah, so we have the span tool. It is also very useful in our development. When you check this website, my personal website, you see that these are all spans. The icon here, I used span to display them, and also I use an I class. We have some other tag to be called I. Yeah, you'll be encountering all these things, The I stands for icon. You can either use the span, or you can use the I, which stands for an icon. So the tags, we have a lot of them. So as time goes on, as we journey in the development, you will be encountering them one after the other. So once we encounter them, I will explain them to you. Okay. So maybe when I have a paragraph tag, now maybe let me just put some dummy text inside, and maybe uh, I want to maybe highlight or um, change the color of this text. I can use the span, because the span is used to um, um, maybe decorate or display it in a linear manner, in line, so that it will be in line with the items, the text. Okay, the text will not be crooked, some will not come down, some will not be up. It will just be in line, the same line as it was first. It was like this, right? So when I want to change the color of this, I can just use the span, and it will be in line, the same thing. So when I use the span, let me just check it, and you see how it will look like. So when I refresh it, you see that it is in line. Even though I use the span, it is in line. Let me remove the span tag, and then maintain it the same way. You will see how it will be. Nothing changed. So the span, that's how it works. It is used to, I mean, decorate maybe text in a linear form, in line. So let me add a span to it and change the color. I will employ some CSS code here. We haven't done it, but I will just to show you. So let me see. Let me just change the style. Let me change the color here. Make it maybe blue, no, brown. So when I refresh it, you see that the color will change, but it is in line. You see, it is in line. It will change, all right, but it is in line. So that's the work of the span. It is also very useful. I can change the color to which color, cry? I'm if I'm call green, yeah, maybe, yeah, green, so that to be clearer. I don't know this color. Let me refresh it. Yeah, I think this is much more better. So nothing will change. It will just change the item you want to effect. The item you want to change, it will just change that, then to make it nicer. So the span tool is very important. The I class tool for adding icons. So maybe when you have the I class, normally it takes a parameter, a class item. So you say you give it a class name, then you push in the name of that icon inside the class. We haven't tackled this yet. We'll come to it, so I don't want to confuse you. So basically, um, this is how the span works, and the div tool for dividing our pages into rows. Once you define the container, you divide it into rows and columns for a page to be arranged in a grid form. Okay, now let's look at um, Bootstrap. So Bootstrap is a popular CSS framework for building responsive and mobile first websites. So what this means is that the Bootstrap is a combination of CSS, JavaScript to speed up your website development or web application development. That's just the meaning. So Bootstrap, instead of writing a lot of CSS, adding a lot of styling or beauty to your codes, Bootstrap has already done that for us. So what we have to do is that we just have to take the framework, put it in our website, then we just call the classes, the name of the items we want to use, then it will be developing the website for us in a fast pace, instead of writing a lot of CSS codes, a lot of styling. Bootstrap has already tackled those sites for us. So that's Bootstrap, and using Bootstrap is very easy. So most powered websites on the internet, most of it are Bootstrap. So even mine, this website is Bootstrap. I used Bootstrap to and added small CSS to it. You get it. So Bootstrap is a framework which it has been designed to help us build website faster instead of writing a lot of codes. Those days when you write codes, you have to think about how it will work on a mobile view. When you open it on a mobile phone, sometimes you have to code that one to a whole lot of codes, and on tablet you have to check that one to write it, a whole lot of codes. You get it. But Bootstrap has done the work for us. So you just import the Bootstrap framework into your website, then it will just handle the mobile view version, the tablet view version, the desktop view version. All the version. So when you open the website on any device, it will be responsive. So Bootstrap is a popular CSS framework for building responsive and mobile first websites. So it includes ready-use CSS and JavaScript components. The CSS is the cascading style sheet, and the JS is the JavaScript. Okay, so it contains the styling and our JavaScript component for us. So once you import them in your code, you are good to go. Now let's look at what we'll be doing. So we'll be looking at the Bootstrap grid system. The grid system is the system where we will look at dividing our pages into rows and columns, the layout, basically the layout of the website. So the Bootstrap grid system uses rows and columns to lay out and align content. So when you look at the website, you could see that it is laid out, okay, with Bootstrap components. This is a grid system website. So when this whole image thing here is in a row, so from the left to the right, as you can see, is the row. So it's a whole row. So I've created a layout for the image to sit in. Then this side, I've created a whole layout. I have a row layout and I have columns. Okay, this in a column, this in a column, divided into two columns. So you could see that this is in a column, it's a large row, and inside the row I have these columns in there. When you look at if this side is a large row and I have four columns, one, two, three, four. The row is the horizontal version and the column is the vertical version. Okay, so when you check the whole page, I mean it's a grid system. So I have the row from the left to the right and I have the columns, okay, divided. So this is divided into three columns. We'll look at that, how to divide it. I mean, this place too has a row and it is divided into columns. So the education is one column, the e-commerce is one column, healthcare is one column, agriculture is one column, but they are all in the same row. You get it? So we will look at that in the Bootstrap grid system. We look at that, and also, oh, this thing is too. So this is how we write it. Okay, you have the div defined, and the div always have um, either the class attribute or the ID attribute. Okay, either you give it a class attribute or give it an ID attribute. So div class attribute container, then so you have your entire container, your general container, which is the bigger portion. It's like you are dividing your room. You have your room is the container. Okay, now once you have the container, you need to which is your room, you need to check the rows, what to be in the rows. Okay, so once you take a row, okay, this row I need to have these items in row, in it. So in that row you can have like about three items there, or four items. These items are in column. Okay, so it's basically how you arrange something in a container. That's how website development works. So you have your container as a whole, then you have um, you divide it into row, and inside that row, inside that row, you have your columns in that row, divided in columns. So you could see that the row is in you see that the row is in container, the row is in the container, and then the columns is in row. The row is in a container and the columns in the row. That's how it works. So we will look at that when I start the section. You understand it. Now we have Bootstrap components. We have a lot of components. These are just a few. So, but these are the most of the components you'll be using in Bootstrap. You have the buttons. You'll be using Bootstrap buttons. You'll be using Bootstrap navbars. So when you check this, when you check this item here, this is a navbar. We call it the navigation bar or the navbar. The short form is navbar. So the navbar has my home, my company, services,